today in remembrance of all our people who are suffering at the hands of these evil perpetrators and those that have died. Also to show our solidarity and let our people know they are not alone or forgotten. In protesting, we strongly condemn the violations of our people's human rights by the Chinese dictatorship.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. May peace and blessing of Almighty God be upon you. God bless you all, my dear brothers and sisters, which you come to help these poor people, which they are stranded, has been imprisoned in a prison camp. Innocent people. What is they fought? They fought is to be a Muslim, and that's wrong. They should not prison them. Every man, every human being have a right to have a religion. My brothers and sisters, I'm coming just few minutes ago from the that was the Syrians, part of the Syrians and a part of the Kashmir. In front of the Downing Street, 10,000 people there. They are suffering. People suffering in India. People suffering in China. We have to unite, Muslim and non-Muslim. We have to unite. We have to unite. It's not good. We have to keep on and on and on. Never stop until we close these camps. Until we bring the China's government to justice. China's government is guilty of murdering. China's government is guilty of torturing. China's government are guilty of selling the parts of body of the people to other countries. You believe this is happening? These are your brothers and sisters in humanity. China is guilty. China is guilty. We have to bring it to justice. And United Nations can bring it. I talked to Antonio Guterres many times. And he's very concerned for China. As the Sister Rahima said, around 3 million people has been prison camped. If you get the Quran, they beat you. If you say Allah, they beat you. If you get the wudu, they beat you. If you think you are doing wrong, so doing some prayer, they beat you. This is totally wrong. That's the evil. We need justice. We need justice. We need justice, and we have to bring China's government to the court of justice. We have to unite Muslim and non-Muslim. It is not just a Muslim problem. It is everybody's problem. It's a humanitarian. They kill your brothers and sisters in humanity. They destroy your brothers and sisters in humanity. That is wrong. And we have to get to this government, our government, Theresa May, to back us. Theresa May, to support us. The government will support us. This government is a just government and will support us to bring justice to these poor people and free them. God bless you all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. The European Union said last week that a visit by 3 of its diplomats to sites carefully selected by the Chinese authorities had provided insight into China's official thinking, but does not invalidate the EU's view of the human rights situation in Xinjiang, including in relation to mass detention, political re-education, religious freedom, and synchronizing the policies. I would like to share the findings by the Peter Winter. This is what he said. There is no escape from religious persecution in the smallest villages. Mosques are destroyed, people are forced to break halal laws and face re-education. Colleagues forced to report against one another. Mosque disappears overnight. Transformation through education camps extended. Also about children, what is happening to the children? The children of the detained Uyghur parents are kept in so-called loving kindergartens and schools. They undergo full-time supervision and receive their education in Chinese only. Usually, the iron gates of these loving heart facilities are firmly locked. The walls are surrounded by barbed wires and access is strictly controlled. There is little chance for these children to go outside. The children only get to see their parents once a month during a monthly video call. According to a teacher of one kindergarten, the children always cry after talking with their parents on video. More and more children are losing parental care. There is even a special name for the families with both mother and father in custody. Double detained families. The government even allocates a military instructor to provide military training to these young children. A prison officer in Xinjiang, or I call it in East Turkestan, said, when dealing with the education of the children of ethnic minorities, the government has organized a rigid and isolated education for them, with public security police officers as their teachers. The young Uyghurs are forced to study a uniform Chinese curriculum arranged by the government. They must speak Chinese, eat pork, wear Han clothes, and live according to the Han people's habit and tradition. They are restricted to this environment with no chance to contact the outside world. Indoctrinated with such a heavy-handed and mandatory education, these children of ethnic minorities become unconsciously obedient to the Chinese Communist Party government. We call upon the British government to enforce its human rights belief in calling for the Chinese to free our people from the current injustices and oppression, freeing them from arbitrary imprisonment, also allowing cultural and religious freedom for all Uyghurs, and the release of all information regarding those who have disappeared over the last 22 years. Thank you.
This nonsense is being used to justify the heavy repression by the Chinese state, the detention of millions in concentration camps. China may seem like an invincible adversary. I'm sure this is what the Chinese state wants us to believe. They'd want us to give up before we start. However, there's a long and powerful tradition in the labour and trade union movement and in other grassroots social movements of international solidarity with oppressed people, even when the odds seem comprehensively stacked against us. We start by letting as many people as we can know about what is happening, by saying what we want to change, by raising the issue with our political leaders and other civic leaders in the country where we live, here, asking them to speak out and to challenge China. There are avenues that sometimes are being pursued in the United Nations, in diplomatic representations between governments. The more we can build solidarity with the Uyghur people in our communities, workplaces and local organisations, trade unions, social campaigns, political parties, the greater will be the impact of the efforts at the level of governments and at the UN. I want to say something because I'm involved in the Labour Party and in trade unionism. China presents itself as socialist and communist. I do not recognise it as either. It is not socialist to ban freedom of speech. It is not socialist to imprison workers who try to organise independent trade unions. And it is not socialist to deny freedom to entire nations within its borders. If we call it communist, as we do now sometimes, it would certainly not be recognised as such by those who first called themselves communist in the 19th century. So it's an honour for me, as a trade unionist, as a Labour Party activist and as a proud socialist, to say that we are with you. We stand with you We owe you solidarity, and we will do everything we can to spread the word in our movements and build the support that you need to lift the oppression that bears down on you and to win human rights and freedom. Solidarity.
Stop killing Muslims in China!